Valentine's Day. I received the dried flowers from Christopher. Soon after, I received another bouquet of flowers. It was a bouquet of vibrant roses. The aroma is delightful. I have rhinitis. I can't smell the flowers. He always gives me some dried flowers. He immediately replied to the photo I sent. Emily, today is a special day. Although nothing may be noticeable, but it's important to truly feel it. Just throw it away after reading, saw the lovely purple baby's breath beside. Compared to this fiery red rose, I couldn't help but frown. This is not my usual style. It was evening. Christopher sent me a photo of us having dinner together. A woman's figure is clearly reflected in the cup. Baby, although I can't have a candlelight dinner with you while I'm on a business trip. However, this is also a way for us to celebrate from a distance. I like you. Regarding his intimate gesture, I didn't mind it at all. She was fixated on the tall glass filled with red wine. After enhancing the image quality to high definition using various software, I can say clearly, it was a woman. At first glance, it looks like a young girl. I took a slow breath. Eating alone feels awkward. Won't think of bringing someone else, right? A second passed. A video of his was sent over. The face is full of grievances. Do you think I can't be with you on Valentine's Day because of a business trip? It's a bit of a pity. This incident came quite suddenly. I'm really sorry. Dear, I have prepared the apology. Absolutely satisfying. I clicked my tongue. This is really a joke. I really haven't figured out what kind of person you are. How long do you plan to be back? He said with a smile. There are still 2 days left. The words were only half spoken. He let out a low grunt. What is going on here? He smiled faintly, but that smile seemed a bit forced. It's nothing. Just bumped the leg into the table. I was wrong. It actually won't be over for another 3 days. I will go home immediately after it's over. I don't believe he said he bumped his leg. It must have been someone from across the way who kicked him. He has no idea. The girl at the back table in the video showed a look of disdain from the shape of her lips. They are probably talking about crickets and Christopher. I can really understand what they are saying. I saw someone across from him, said goodbye briefly, then hung up the phone, looking at the 2 bouquets of flowers in front. I couldn't help but laugh at myself. I really didn't expect that. He actually gave me such a big surprise on Valentine's Day. I used to be quite curious. What kind of work is it? The boss had to go on a business trip during Valentine's Day. It turns out they were celebrating with someone else. Heard the news. I suddenly felt helpless. Don't know what to do. Christopher and I have been together for 8 years. Eventually endured his parents' opposition. After several years of long-distance living. After 7 years of refinement. But in the end, we couldn't grow old together. I originally planned to wait for him to come back. Let's have a good chat. After all, we have been together for 8 years. I'm a bit worried that I'm overthinking things. What if this is just a misunderstanding? Then everyone will definitely be happy. 2 days have passed. Morning. I saw him on the sofa. A bit surprised. Didn't you say you'd be back in 3 days? How did you finish the work early? He saw me. Couldn't help laughing, of course. It's not because I feel uncomfortable at home, but it's because I miss you so much. So let's resolve it quickly. Work is much more important than the things I love. I looked at him. No concerns at all. Everything seems natural. I gently patted him. A slight smile. Really? Why are you so affected? Clearly not young anymore. He pulled me to the seat, take out a few packages from the suitcase, placed in front of me one by one. Since we are no longer in a long-distance relationship, this Valentine's Day, I'm not with you for the first time. Thanks for your support. What do you think of my purchases? I couldn't help but smile at him. There are really quite a few clothes. I'll tidy up your clothes first. Then look at other things. He asked me to sit down. I can handle this little thing myself. Wait for Aunt to come wash. You can take a look at the gift first. Saw him leaving with the clothes. I scoffed and sat back down, only then realized the need to cover up. What were you doing before? I opened the suitcase. The fragrance wafted over. Actually, the taste is quite mild. However, due to my rhinitis, extremely sensitive to smells. Moreover, there's a colorful strand of hair on that sweater. I brushed my long black hair. No more self-deception. On a business trip with female colleagues or female clients, the suitcase must not smell like perfume. The clothes should not be covered in their hair. He discovered I hadn't started unpacking the box, yet as soon as he returned, hurry and go take a look. These are all selected by me. These are all brands and styles you typically like, sure to please you. I took a glance. Indeed, he has always been quite attentive to this. He often quietly notes what I use. If he is not sure what to buy, It will be given according to those gifts for me. I opened a box of cosmetics. It's exactly the set I'm using now. I saw a small box next to me, so I picked it up. This was given away at their counter. I've heard it's really useful. It's a sample. You can give it a try. If it seems good, I can help you buy it. I raised an eyebrow slightly, saying it's good. But inside, it felt as cold as ice. I've been using this brand. Understand that their family has never held a giveaway event, and this thing itself comes with a formal outfit. It must be the formal attire. Christopher is straightforward. Not quite sure about these things. However, that person should understand. Would never offered me such a chance. So to speak, she did this on purpose. Or more precisely, in provocation. Seeing Christopher's face full of expectation, I couldn't help but smirk inside. It seems his opponent is not easy either. Each one opened. I still act as usual with a smile, gave him a lot of praise. He kissed me. With that, Valentine's Day is over. I need to go to the office now. After all, just returned from a business trip. Some matters need to be discussed in a meeting as soon as possible. I don't want to expose his trick. Played for a few days. It's almost time to head back to the office and check things out. He left. I looked at the gift in front of me. There were no feelings stirred inside. Just thinking about the gifts I prepared. Another person can get one too. It could even be more. I felt really uncomfortable. I'm not quite sure either. Why could I argue well with my family in the past? Now I only believe in myself. Why is it so easy to fall in love with someone else? When we first got together, his family is opposed. The difference in family backgrounds between me and them is really significant. Actually, my parents don't approve either. Both felt that matching backgrounds were ideal. After all, we live in different places after graduation. At that time, our love was so passionate that it was unforgettable, the more unrecognized. The love in the heart grows deeper. If it weren't for meeting the other party, I may never love again in this life for this reason. His relationship with his parents has become somewhat tense. He gave up all the family assets, choose to leave home, come to my city. His relationship with his parents has been strained for an entire year because he is the only child in the family. His parents finally conceded, promised to be with us. Christopher heard the news, just had a chat with him about his views. His parents said it was just a temporary arrangement. We always feel that we might get tired of it after a few years. Broke up. In the end, it still relies on them to arrange everything. At that time, he gave me his word. He said he would prove it to them, walk through life with me, live a happy family life. Sometimes he would take me to his home to deepen our relationship. Gifts are often given in my name. Always keeps a distance from various women. 3 years ago, we just got married. His parents have a new understanding of me, finally accepted me as a daughter-in-law. They also started taking me into their circle, helped me fit in the past 8 years, although there are no children, but everything else went smoothly. It's probably Valentine's Day. The relationship between these two people heated up quickly. Christopher always comes back late. Sometimes just don't go home for the night. Emily, the company is currently working on a significant project. We'll be busy for a while. Don't worry about me. If you're tired, just take a good rest. If I don't come back, I will let you know in advance. He has been messaging me these days, saying he will be home late. As a result, they only returned home late at night each day, even if woken up by him. I can't be bothered to open my eyes. One day, he came back at 3 in the morning. I am struggling with insomnia, just about to doze off. Why did you come so late? You can only sleep for a few hours after you come back. Better stay overnight at the office. Sleep a little longer. Unsure which word made him uncomfortable. He threw the quilt. The expression darkened. I came back so late. It's for the company's affairs. Wanting you to have a better life. It's okay if you don't wait for me. So my family really won't let me go back after saying this. He slammed the door shut. I listened to that piercing sound. Rubbing the head. Feels a bit bloated. Couldn't help but open the phone. Saw an unread message. Sister, today, Christopher and I are not in a good mood. If he gets angry at you, be more tolerant. I'll make him happy tomorrow. This number feels both strange and familiar. There are no unfamiliar contacts in the address book. On the contrary, what feels familiar is, I've received a lot of messages these days. Sometimes it's a photo of her with Christopher. Sometimes it's a shopping receipt. Sometimes it could be the name of a restaurant. I really didn't expect that. She actually did something so unethical. Can also be shared openly. Completely clueless about what she really wants to do. Christopher came to apologize to me the next day. Sorry, I felt bad yesterday. The project isn't progressing very well. Failed to take care of you. I work hard to earn money to make your life better. Make sure you feel comfortable every day. I lazily glanced at him from the couch. Say, Christopher, the money you earn was never for me. That is your career. It's your own pursuit. I have a job. The money earned is all mine. He walked up to me, looked at my face. Are you a bit angry? I can understand your anger. I wasn't in a good mood yesterday. Don't get me wrong. This is not against you. You can confide in me, but don't let yourself get angry. Getting angry isn't good for health. He spoke in a gentle tone. The attitude is especially compliant. It is obvious that he is sincerely apologizing. Just because of this, I can't understand why he has feelings for me on one hand. On the other hand, there is some ambiguity with others. In that moment, I felt the urge to ask him, but in the end, it couldn't be said, no matter what reason he has. I can't accept it. The messages from that person are all evidence. These will help me fight for more rights. Perhaps he sensed my indifference. Christopher began to come home on time. I gradually became resistant to his contact. Other aspects remain the same as before. He has refused several times. The complexion looks a bit off. Emily, we have been married for 3 years. We are no longer young. It's time to consider having a child. In the past, after we got married, his parents have also urged me before. However, I didn't provide a direct answer. Later, I found out I had polycystic. Fortunately, treatment is underway. His parents also have some opinions about this. The implication is clear. They must have a son, because the inheritance needs someone to take it over. Except for those, I also want our child. I was originally very cooperative, but now I've decided not to do that. The child of a traitor in my eyes can only bring pain. Wait a moment. The doctor said my treatment will take another 6 months. Christopher still felt a bit hesitant. You really want to put me in danger? If something unexpected happened then, I am hurt. Aren't you worried? He held me in his arms. I really feel upset. If having a baby hurts you too much, then I would rather not. I just hope you are doing well. We made a promise to grow old together. I gently poked his chest. Ask how to manage the big business at home. Your parents are still hoping for a grandson. He gave me a kiss in the company. Someone is always in charge of this. You are the only one in my heart. From that day on, he no longer brought it up. Sometimes work overtime. Result. The unfinished message came again. This is a photo of a pregnancy test. 2 lines are clearly shown above. It should be fine to meet at this time. I agreed. The time has nearly come. It needs to be explained clearly. I found the place she sent me. A closed for business sign was hanging at the door. I looked inside through the window. I saw a young girl waving at me. I just sat down. She reached out her hand. Sophia, I haven't spoken yet. She withdrew her hand. I know your name. Emily. I withdrew my hand. Actually had already prepared for it. They can message me. It's not surprising that you know my name. Emily, I don't actually want to hurt you if I have to say something. I have known Christopher much longer than you have. This surprised me a little. I thought they had just met. She looked up at Sophia, a smile on the lips. I met Christopher for the first time. It was at a gathering at that time. We were as short as the table, but he was already somewhat famous. It's someone else's treasure. She looks quite proud. At that time, I discovered his strengths. I follow him every day. Always said I want to marry him when I grow up. What a pity. I will go abroad soon when I come back again. You are already by his side. I took a sip of coffee, Sophia. This is not a sign of betrayal. It's the kind of situation you imagine. She didn't feel guilty at all, to put it mildly. Smile. Emily, you didn't grow up in our circle, never experienced. This is nothing. Many blended families appear harmonious on the surface. In fact, everyone has someone in their heart. You don't have children. The family can't help. It's even less likely for children to inherit the family business. This will only put more pressure on him. I'm not interested in this theory at all. Can't understand it. I'm not rich now. Since the day we met, I am just an ordinary person, also adjusting my body. What is familiar is not necessarily right. I think marriage requires mutual loyalty anyway. She pointed at the cafe. That's a place I go to pass the time when I'm bored. It's not for making money, just to enjoy the atmosphere here. She was speaking, pointing to the tall building across. This building belongs to our Sophia family. A building like this, my family has quite a few. If I were with Christopher, his career is sure to progress further. I nodded, eyes looking ahead. That's true, Christopher. You feel the same way, so you found a lover. She became pregnant, come back to pressure you. Sophia frowned slightly, turned around and saw Christopher, immediately stood up. Christopher, how did you end up here? Let me talk it over properly. Christopher shook her hand off forcefully. The gaze was filled with coldness. Sophia, I have already told you. Don't disturb Emily. You are also not allowed to appear in front of her. How could you do this? I heard this sentence. Couldn't help raising an eyebrow. I previously thought Sophia came to see me because of Christopher, trying to use the child to force a divorce. It seems she wants to take control of the situation. Sophia took his hand, want to explain. However, he was shaken off. She watched him walk towards me. Christopher caught me. Emily, listen to me for a moment. I have never thought about divorce. We originally planned to spend our lives together. At this moment, he is still thinking about being together with me for a lifetime. It's not that unbearable. I pointed at Sophia, even got another woman pregnant, then said they wanted to spend a lifetime together. Am I a ninja turtle? I let go of his hand, wiped with paper. Fortunately, I've been to the hospital for a checkup before. The body is quite healthy. Don't worry. I will definitely end this marriage. I went home and looked for a lawyer to draft an agreement. Sophia had provided me with a lot of information before. These will definitely come in handy. I truly want to thank her. I spoke while, picked up the clothes and walked quickly. The air feels a bit strange. Just walked a few steps. Christopher stopped him. He asked, if I help her terminate the pregnancy, can you pretend like nothing happened? Can we relive the past feelings? I turned around. A glimpse of Sophia's disbelief gave him a slap. Christopher, today I finally have a deeper understanding of you. Your performance disappointed me. After going out, I think I would feel uncomfortable. Gently stroke the cheek. Feels a bit cold. Absolutely no moisture. It seems my body is telling me it's not worth being sad for him. However, there is still a bit of regret. Knowing this matter in one's heart is one thing. Seeing it in an image is something entirely different. Seeing it in person is completely different. This is 8 years of my wholehearted love for someone. It has also been 8 years that I have managed carefully. It has been 8 years of beautiful anticipation for the coming decades. Saw Christopher chasing after. I hurriedly told the driver to speed up. I didn't go back home. Instead, I returned to the apartment I bought before getting married. I seldom come to this house, never even lived here. Usually when I argue with Christopher, he would choose to move out on his own. The next day when we returned, we made up. In the past 8 years, we rarely argue, especially after his parents agreed. I came here with him. He has never made me feel angry, according to what he said. I have left behind my familiar surroundings to follow him. As a result, had to endure his parents' criticism. His actions made me very uncomfortable. I wasn't in a good mood that time, deliberately arguing with him. He is afraid I might be in a bad mood. Dare not walk. Stood at the door all night. The next day when I woke up, he has already cooked the meal, waiting for me to eat. After seeing me, quickly hide to the side. Seemed afraid of being implicated. I felt very upset at that time. Clearly, I found his mistake first. He is very tolerant of me. He didn't feel anything special. He comforted me a few meters away. Let me finish my meal before going out with friends. He easily infected me at home. A few years have passed. He still has me in his heart, but sleeps with others. After all, people's hearts are always easily swayed. I found a friend who is a lawyer. Please ask her to help me write the divorce agreement. I sent the information to her. Also mentioned the situation. She vents with me. He patted his chest and promised to help me all night. I'm very dedicated, so you definitely can't sleep too much. Stayed up all night. The next day, the agreement was sent out immediately. At noon, Christopher came over. I'm going out to eat. I only found out he was there after I came back. He saw me at a glance, hurriedly walked over. I don't want to end the marriage. I disagree. Please come home with me now. I have something to tell you. Apologize. I gently kicked his knee, finally broke free from his embrace. Saw the lipstick mark on his shoulder. A chill ran through. You come to me for reconciliation with the mark of lipstick. Who told you to do that? He turned his head, caught a glimpse of that shade of red. Reach out to touch. I have completely broken up with Sophia, mainly because she came to me on his own initiative. We played together for a few days when we were kids. They just returned from abroad. Chat. I really didn't know she had any other feelings for me. I chuckled softly. Oh, that's right. She has a guilty conscience, not sincere at all. It's all her fault, he nodded. Say, that's right, you have to trust me. My love for you is sincere. I looked at him, felt particularly strange inside. I didn't expect him to lie so fluently. The expression didn't change. Is someone forcing him to celebrate Valentine's Day? Have to eat and take pictures? Is there still a need for close contact? Just go find a lawyer. sue her for harassment and coercion. After winning the lawsuit, I can get half of that compensation. I noticed he was stunned, just walked around him. Get ready to go in, soon. He also came over, desperately trying to squeeze inside. I haven't had the chance to speak yet. He spoke up first. He casually said a few words, then expressed a desire not to disturb me. I thought for a moment. Leave the door open. Just chat at the door. Emily, looking for Sophia was really my only option. It's all for you. Seeing Christopher's serious expression, I'm almost laughing in frustration. I heard about a man cheating for the first time. The result was actually for his wife. I'm not interested in this theory, but it is indeed quite interesting. I want to listen, seeing me not speaking. He appeared more confident, with a friendly sparkle in the eyes. The tone also became resolute. You know, too, my parents did not agree for us to be together. The main reason is the significant difference in our family backgrounds. Although it may not sound very pleasant, but your family hasn't been of much help to my family's business. I urged him to continue with my gaze. During this period, I made a promise to my parents. I will work twice as hard, make up for everything. Let the company thrive under my management. They hope you can have children. Take over the company. After all, outsiders can't be allowed to profit. I'm really not sure about these things. He had run away from home before, ran over to me. During this period, maintained contact with his parents. I know about this, but I didn't know they had finalized the agreement. Emily, I love you very much. I'm happy to help you with all of this. I am willing to do my best to create a good environment for you. I have done this. He looked at me. A hint of sorrow showed in the eyes. But I only got halfway. Emily, we haven't had children for 3 years. I haven't told you. Actually, your physical condition is not very suitable for pregnancy. May never be a mother in this lifetime. My throat started to feel dry. Just then, Sophia appeared by your side. You are a great match. Moreover, you have grown up together since childhood. Most importantly, there are deep feelings for you. Do you really want her to have a baby for you? He laughed heartily. You really understand me, to be honest. Her family's situation is completely unequal to mine now. Instead, it needs my help. Then why does she keep pursuing me? A man with a family? This sounds absurd, but he doesn't feel that way. He grabbed my hand, said softly, always, you are always the one I love. Children won't interfere with our relationship. I feel a bit cold. I don't know if it's his words or his actions that have me feeling this way. Pull the hand back with force. Gently pushed him. Christopher, your actions have really disappointed me. I hope you can reflect on your way of doing things. Please step aside. If you don't sign, I might consider taking legal action. I'm really furious. Never expected to meet someone like this. It turns out to be the partner I have been with for many years. I have to thank him. Has always had feelings for me all this time. Unless so, I'm pretty much the same as Sophia, although she is not entirely wrong either. Christopher is still outside defending his own case. Wants me to believe him. I'll tell you. Emily, I will never get a divorce, even if it goes to court. You can't win either. Now I don't have children anymore. What do you want? I immediately called the property management and security, watching him being taken away, and instructed the security to never let him in again. I quickly called a lawyer friend, have her help me sue. I need to quickly end this marriage, otherwise more trouble will arise in the future. Christopher has come to see me several times. However, none came in. He is waiting for me outside the company. He actually wanted to arrange an easy job for me at the company. Whether it makes money or not is secondary. The main purpose is to help me pass the time. His parents hadn't fully accepted me back then. I feel a bit unhappy, so didn't agree. So I decided to look for a job that suits me better. I sincerely thank the clear-headed version of myself. I haven't mentioned my divorce to anyone else. Previously, Christopher often came to pick me up. Colleagues are familiar with him. He appeared. A colleague ran over and told me. I saw someone raise an eyebrow at me while holding a coffee. I knew he wouldn't leave. He sighed, always able to win others' hearts easily. I originally wanted to drag out the time after work. Didn't expect to be kicked out by colleagues after the time was up. It is said that resources should not be wasted. When I go out, Christopher's eyes moved, holding a bouquet of roses. It looks just like the bouquet from my Valentine's Day. I was about to sneeze. He packed things up, then took out a bouquet of dried flowers. Flowers are used to express apologies. Dried flowers accompany you. Dear, I understand that I was wrong. Can you forgive me? He obviously has to act like there's nothing between us, including cheating and arguments. I didn't mention divorce either, just an ordinary day. He came to pick me up after work. I didn't take the dried flowers. Irritated, asked him, "You have anything else? If it's an agreement for urging marriage or divorce, it's already in progress. Nothing else worth mentioning." I stared at him, without reservations. "It's over between us." He is still smiling. "I can sense some dissatisfaction towards me in your heart. I made a mistake this time, I admit. I will confess my love to you again. Let you feel my affection and determination." I frowned. "Just throw it in the trash. This person doesn't seem to understand very well." Early the next morning, I found his car at the entrance of the community. He didn't say anything, just silently following behind me, walked all the way upstairs. Upon seeing my colleague, I quickly handed over the snacks. "Recently, there have been some small conflicts between Emily and me. Sorry for the trouble." In the heat of romance, I feel especially proud of these actions. It also makes him even better. I just want a divorce now. Filled with disappointment and anxiety, he didn't stay long. Said a few simple words and left. I find those things really annoying. Just tell a colleague I want to get a divorce. Her shock was obvious. After a long time, slowly spoke a sentence. "Is there some misunderstanding?" I shook my head. "The evidence is right there." At first, she was a bit skeptical, until I showed her the photo. "She comforts me. Hand me that pile of stuff. Let me handle it myself." Less than an hour. The whole company already knows that I plan to get a divorce. Our company is small. Everyone's relationship is very simple. Everyone comfort me. Feel free to talk to me about anything. Christopher came again in the evening. The people around ignored him. He doesn't take anything. The tone is still so bad. It's really unbearable. These past few days, strange and unkind words always filled his ears. He has grown up like this. The greatest grievance endured. Maybe it's when together with me. Faced opposition from his parents. Afterwards, he never showed up again. A weight has finally been lifted off my shoulders. Not long after, I met Christopher's parents. When I heard the sound and turned around, wondering if I was mistaken. After all, they are still my parents-in-law, considered an elder. I agreed to the suggestion of having a meal, wanted to explain the situation to the older person. "Emily, we are also aware of this matter. We have also made some mistakes. You need to understand. At our age, really hopes to have grandchildren." I smiled. "Are you planning to let Christopher find someone else?" She was taken aback. I didn't expect to talk to her this way. After all, my previous attitude wasn't particularly respectful, but still very polite. Now he and I are about to go our separate ways. I have suffered quite a lot. Who still cares about manners? She and Christopher's dad exchanged glances. It seems things are a bit complicated, so the attitude has become milder. "Look at you, kid. How can one speak like this over the years? We have long regarded you as one of us. You are the only daughter-in-law we acknowledge." She probably hopes I can say a few words in response. As a result, I saw that I didn't say anything. Then they just continued talking. "You should be aware of Christopher's previous attitude towards you. In the end, all of this is for your benefit. We can understand your discomfort. But for him, divorce is a big deal. If there are concerns about that child, we can find a way to solve this. As long as you are willing to give Christopher a chance, you can start over." Is it good? This is certainly not good. No matter what reason there is, the affair can no longer be denied. After being seen through by me, he actually masked it by pretending to care about me. This is really embarrassing. Dad, Mom, this may be the last time I call you. Divorce is something that can't be undone. From the moment Christopher betrayed, our relationship is over. His parents exchanged glances, but I interrupted them directly. "I don't want to hear any conditions. We've been together for 8 years. I believe he definitely knows what kind of person I am. I don't like actions that use concern for me as an excuse." I stood up. "Please take your time and enjoy. I'll treat this meal. It's a way to thank you for your care over the past few years. Goodbye." Just checked out. I ran into Christopher. Just as he was about to speak, I have already started to turn away. We hardly have any topics to talk about now. Communication became very boring. In the end, he caught up. "Emily, how long have you been in? Have you eaten well?" I took a deep breath. "I see you're not eating enough." I actually felt satisfied. "You don't need to seek further help. I'll tell you, it doesn't matter who comes. Hope you can sign soon. I still remember your kindness." On the way home, my lawyer friend told me, "The appeal has been submitted. Just wait for the court hearing." I really don't know how many times Sophia has messaged me to urge me to get a divorce. Her anxiety was obvious. Might think that if I agree to the divorce, she can rely on the child to get into Christopher's house. I didn't pay attention. from Christopher's current situation. He and Christopher's family don't seem to have paid much attention to her yet, maybe still waiting for her to make a decision. I thought I would wait for the trial. Didn't expect Sophia to hold a press conference. A public response was made to the Christopher family. This company is quite famous. The live broadcast has indeed attracted a lot of attention from online viewers. I was told by a friend, Sophia must have made a significant decision. Not only described their first encounter, it also describes the changes in their relationship. There are even a few audio recordings. The recording played her intimate conversations with Christopher. There are also some complaints they mentioned to me, and their agreement. To put it simply, Sophia is pregnant. I might divorce her later, marry her. This way, the child has a rightful identity. About what happened next, it's still unclear. The live stream suddenly cut off. I suspect Christopher is to blame. After all, the background is here. It's just an ordinary live stream. He can end the live stream, but it couldn't stop Sophia from being exposed online. Not to mention the discussions among those netizens. It sparked a heated discussion online. As the original spouse, I also became the center of attention. I was surprised by Sophia's performance. She really gave it her all, thanks to many reminders from online users. I just realized that what Christopher said about Sophia's family relying on him is not an exaggeration. Actually, it's quite tolerant. After Sophia's family went abroad, the situation is not as good as imagined, especially after they returned. Want to know the situation in the country? Not long ago, her family suffered a loss, just decided to come back. They hoped to connect with Christopher, to lift oneself up again. They saw I had no background. Start making plans. She wants to fight for the position of the mistress of the Christopher family. Sophia actually has a good impression of Christopher. After Christopher learned about the difficulties of my pregnancy, the idea of surrogacy emerged. We quickly reached a consensus. Someone is thinking about climbing into a wealthy family. Make a comeback. Another person places hope in genetic superiority, hoping to comfort parents. Sophia didn't expect it. Those promises were just words. Christopher didn't expect me to discover his affair. This matter has gone beyond his control. Sophia now has a child. Definitely should seek some benefits. Otherwise, it would be a big loss. Christopher was very angry that she made this public. Not only did it cause Christopher's family's stock to plummet, it greatly reduces the possibility of me turning back. Although Sophia stands on the right side, but her strength is not enough. Soon unable to voice online. Some overly emotional comments were deleted one by one. Netizens have all gone to Christopher's official Weibo. The comments section has been disabled. She has registered a new account and mentioned me. I want to give her proof that every word she said is true. Sister, we are all hurt. All are people hurt by Christopher. We need to unite. Saw the message she sent. I couldn't help but smile, but there was no response. However, I shared a screenshot of the lawsuit acceptance on social media. I don't want to be dragged into their troubles. From a rational perspective, I am indeed sympathetic. No need to get involved in those complicated matters. Just Sophia made Christopher feel helpless. Not to mention the onlookers online. He's no longer interested in bothering me. The next meeting will be in court. I made sure to manage my time well, avoid letting him find me. Spot Christopher at a glance. I was startled. The beard is a bit messy, looks a bit listless. It looks like it's been a long time since there was any sleep. The whole person seems a bit tired. My lawyer friend whispered in my ear, chat with me about some gossip news. Recent events have made the situation at the Christopher household quite troublesome. I heard the shareholders of Christopher's family have held quite a few meetings. They want to replace the top leadership, but Christopher's dad suppressed the matter. The struggle is ongoing. Everyone is caught in a tug of war. I really don't care about these, just want to get divorced quickly. Regarding the missing assets, I don't mind, after all, I haven't contributed much. No matter how you give it to me, I can benefit from it, because the evidence is very strong. He not only betrayed the marriage, also committed bigamy. However, according to the current law, there is still a 1-month cooling-off period. Must wait until the cooling-off period ends. Divorce is required for a ruling. Just wait a month. As soon as it ended, I prepared to leave. However, he was stopped. Emily, what do you think of me now? Will it feel sad? I rolled my eyes. What do you think? I really want to set off firecrackers to celebrate. The signs were very clear that day. The speed of retribution is too fast. He lowered his eyelids. Looks a bit wronged. I originally wanted to avoid him. As a result, he blocked me. I can agree to the divorce. It can even help you acquire more assets. Just send a notice. Help me clarify. I didn't cheat. It's all Sophia's conspiracy. His situation is clearly not good. This is when this method was thought of. But I don't want to help. You and Sophia really can't trust. Now, this is your outcome, all right. I will wait for 3 years. Let the marriage end. However, I want to tell you, you actually want a peach after returning home. I slapped my forehead, decided to sell that house, stay at a friend's place for a while. Less than 2 days. I saw Sophia's new video online again. She looks quite tired in the video. What's more striking is the tight-fitting pants she wore. There's also the checklist nearby. She accused Christopher of hiring someone to hit her. As a result, the child was lost. The captured person accidentally bit themselves to death, not influenced by others at all. There is no dissatisfaction with the punishment. This can only be regarded as an accident in the end. Last time, some netizens spoke up for her. This time, she might feel she can leverage the power of the internet again. Didn't expect that. Not many people care about this. Even everyone's comments suggest that she should do it this way. Not long after, the news of Sophia's family's bankruptcy spread. Debts piled up, and there was always someone pressing me for repayment. Sophia's family has always wanted to go abroad, but travel is restricted. Sophia, to pay off debts, decisively married a wealthy outsider willing to help pay off her family's loan. He is over 10 years older than her. It is rumored that he had a history of violent behavior. The cooling-off period has lasted a full month. Christopher doesn't want a divorce. The lawyer he hired is a bit concerned about the bigamy charge. At that moment, the message Sophia sent me came in handy. Prove that they actually live together. Finally, Christopher did not choose to stay at Christopher's house. Christopher's dad was hospitalized due to a moment of anger. Almost couldn't make it. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. Some things were placed on his shoulders. He was reported by name. Now facing economic judgment. The situation at Christopher's home is quite chaotic right now. A friend told me about these things. I just smiled softly. The day the house was sold, I held the money in one hand, holding the allocated property in one hand, immediately left this heavy-hearted city. These 8 years have been like a dream. After waking from the dream, life is still so beautiful.